Let me fly into the moonlight. Just give me space to breathe. Let me see inside the darkness, just to wash away the fear. The cold surrounds me now, in a sea of lines and dots. The moment life's about, it's quiet now. All I hear is raindrops, 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 raindrops. All I hear is raindrops.
Welcome back. Week 2 of the Shoremen on the Sideline. Joining me again is head coach Earl Varr, still in New Zealand, but with a bit of good news to bring us a little bit later. And joining us this week is forwards coach Sape Missa on the job site and in his car. Thanks for joining us early in the morning, Sape. How are you?
Good, mate. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no dramas. Again, like last week, a sponsor of the show, Kelly Partners, our major sponsor again in 2020, have been with us as the major sponsor since 2017. And we'd like to thank Brett and his team there at Kelly Partners for sticking with us through the pandemic and obviously now back on the field. It's great to have them alongside us and on the front of our jersey. We look forward to welcoming back Kelly Partners to a few games coming up. Earl, we'll throw to you in New Zealand. Bring us the good news, mate.
Well, it's pretty cold and wet over here, so that's not good news. But I got exemption confirmed yesterday. Got a nice little email from Home Affairs that said that I'm exempt to start travelling back to Australia. So booked on a flight tomorrow morning at 6:30 a.m. Nice and early. My wife's not going to be happy about getting up that early and taking me to the airport, but I'm sure she'll farewell me with a nice kiss. Having said that, it's been a long, as you know from last week, it's been a long process. A lot of people have been involved. Charlie Taylor, Trent Zimmerman, Anna Ogden, Alistair Henskins, all those guys have been doing their part from the government point of view. Yourself and Graham O'Donnell, Chris Hall, even Anthony French from Rugby Australia. Everyone's done their part. So a big thank you from me and my family, and also from the club to get it sorted now. Looking forward to my return. Yeah,
fantastic. I know. The board and the players and the club are all looking forward to your return as well. And just talking a moment ago, so you'll fly out tomorrow morning, Thursday the 23rd, and you'll quarantine for 2 weeks, and you'll be ready for the bye. That'll be exciting.
Yeah. Well, that was the weekend that I put my hand up to play third grade, but because there's a bye, I guess I'm going to have to miss that.
Very good. We'll throw back over to Sape. Mate, just quickly, give us a little bit of an insight into your role. You've been with the first grade team since 2018 and through the lower grades prior to that. What's your role entail this year?
This year started off with forwards, attacking breakdown, and tackle tech. And due to Earl being away, I've taking the lead under his instructions on D until he gets back. So I'm actually looking forward to take a few more hours off my workload during the week.
Yeah, fantastic. And obviously a big hand in and around scrum and line out as well, and two key areas that I know everyone's put a lot of work into. And it was great to see a few results in the scrum and line out go our way on the weekend. A quick around the grounds, and obviously first grade was a great win. Second grade as well had a terrific win. They fought hard in the second half as well. And first Colts had a big win with about 60 odd points. Third grade not so lucky. I think it was about 9 tries to 1 against Randwick. And fourth grade came up with the chocolates with 10-0 over at Latham. and the women's unfortunately went down in their clash to Manly, and likewise in the lower grade Colts. So a mixed bag in round one. From a first grade point of view, Earl, I know you were on a Zoom call and that freed up my text messages throughout the game. What did you make of round one of our performance so far?
Yeah, it was quite interesting over the weekend. You know, I was able to stream in for the Colts first game and the second grade, but there was no streaming for first grade. So having to get 3 or 4 boys with their phones around the field and using Zoom, plus Gavin, our trainer, he set up his laptop before it ran out of juice, and so we need to make sure that we've got a little bit of electricity running to the laptop this week. But in terms of first grade, mate, I thought we all we wanted was a good start for the season, and a 33 was it 33?
33-3.
Yeah, 33-3. Scoreline was very good for us. And that just reflected on the boys' hard work and D, and what Sapi and Michael Smith from second grade are doing with the boys. We look pretty connected at times, but we were also under pressure from West Harbour, and for us to come away without conceding a try, that was very pleasing. And there was actually, probably 15 minutes after Jaden's try, that we didn't actually see the ball. We saw the ball to maybe exit from a scrum, and from broken play. But other than that 15 minutes after Jaden's try, we were hard on defence, and Bortsy, being able to get back and hold a player up over the line, our set piece, our scrum, being able to fight against their scrum on 5 metre line, that was pretty impressive. And we just chipped away, and then we got the ball back with 8 minutes to go and scored 3 tries, which was very pleasing.
Yeah, certainly great to come away with a bonus point out of all that. Obviously 6-3 half time and 11-3 for a long time in the second half. Sapa, you were out on the field. What was the key messages and what was the mood like out on the field? Were we always comfortable, or was it as nervous on the field as it was on the sideline?
No, I thought the boys were pretty calm and pretty collective. Probably a few key messages was around our D, because obviously even though we didn't let any tries in, we still missed a lot of tackles. But you look at those tackles, probably potentially from simple things like alignment and whatnot. But once the boys sorted that out pretty early in the second half, I thought we were a lot more sound in our D then. But the whole time I thought the boys were in control of that game.
Yeah, nice. It certainly looked like we scrambled in defence really well, and I don't recall them being in our 22 much at all in the first half. So good line speed, and I thought Nick Palmer had a blinder defensively. As you mentioned, Earl, a key moment that sort of swung the game was a held up try from Gary Bortz in defence, and we go on to we scored 3 tries and get the bonus point after that. Obviously a key moment that reflects a bit of the attitude within the group that will play to the 80th minute and beyond.
Yeah, obviously we, in games we'd like to, put games away a little bit earlier, but after Jaden's try, I sort of got the feeling that things were starting to turn, and we just needed to keep the ball. And then we exited after Jaden's try, and we didn't see the ball back for another 15 minutes. So that's just how football goes. But the pleasing thing is that the boys held out. We know we can attack. It was just a matter of when and where we can make the most of the possession that we had. And that just came after, I think Connor kind of had a missed kick at goal, and then they kicked a restart from the 22, and from there on, and we had possession.
Yeah, nice. And what looked like a pretty light front row on our behalf, we did have a change, and Ryan Lomas came in to start. Sape, just talk us through a bit of scrum and set piece, because we not only got parity, but we got a fair bit of ascendancy at both scrum and line out through the game, and that's certainly been a key focus area over the summer. And I think every session you've had with the boys, talk us through the scrum.
Obviously, it was a massive improvement, and probably credit to the boys for the hard work they put in. Probably a little bit under the pump against Eastwood the week before, but the boys put in the work during the week, and that only been our fourth scrum session post-COVID. I thought the boys did well there.
And we've got a few reinforcements to come. German Hafili, our Argentinian prop, returning from injury in second grade this week, and Dewald Decker, known as Panda, the South African prop. He should make his return from a minor suspension in round 3. So some more cavalry coming, and that should bode pretty well through the grades. Earl Penrith, you probably don't know a lot about them, but relegated out of the competition in 2018. This is their first game back, and obviously with the bye last week, their first game this year. What can we make of Penrith coming to Bon Andrews this weekend?
Yeah, well, we know they're going to be. We know they've got powerful backs and powerful forwards again, like we faced on the weekend. So we're going to have to make our tackles again, and we're going to have to do our best to starve them from possession. So we don't have to make so many tackles. Yeah. Other than that, I don't know too much about them, mate. You know, it's good to have them back in the comp. You know, for the area out there, and we're just concentrating on our game this week. What we can improve from the weekend against West Harbour, and you know, and that sort of reflects on our selection this week in the team. You know, trying to build continuity with combinations, and preparing well for future games ahead.
Yeah. So just on the selection, we've only one real change to the forward pack, and that's Charlie Jevons Fellows coming in at 7 for Hugh Taylor. We spoke the other day more around a rotation than anything else. Is that always the plan through the early stages, to rotate a couple, or you know, a lot of blokes putting their hand up for selection in all through the grades?
Yeah, it's been real hard, you know, selection wise. You know, we could run out, you know, 30 players in top grade. You know, the guys that are playing in second grade, you know, they're putting their hands up, and it just makes our jobs so much harder. In terms of Hugh and Charlie, yeah, it is just a rotation. We just want to see what Charlie can bring to the jersey this week, and you know, and that's no disrespect to Hugh. He's played some fantastic football in the last 3 weeks, and you know, it's a hard call on him, but you know, he's determined to put his best foot forward over in second grade this week, and keep on chipping away, get back in the team.
Yeah, nice. And Sape, having been around the club a little while, you've seen a fair few of the debutants work pretty hard in the lower grades, and obviously in the Colts. Who impressed you from the debutants? Obviously a lot in the forwards. Give us a bit of an idea of how they went in your eyes.
Probably first and foremost, probably my front row. I thought they did a pretty good job. Probably gave up about 80 kgs in the front row alone.
At least.
But apart from the front row, I thought Heinrich is probably he's making selection pretty hard at the moment, and not many people knocking on the door on the jersey the way he's playing at the moment. So probably be Heinrich, probably be out of all the debutants turns up in my head when I'm thinking
Yeah, nice.
about that question.
And obviously, hopefully, in a couple of weeks, whenever it may be, we've got a pretty good 8 waiting in the wings, back out of a knee brace, and that's Hugh Sinclair with the Waratahs. A little bit unknown as to what's happening there, but hopefully we see him in the next couple of weeks. We are at Bon Andrews this weekend against Penrith, our first home game. We'd like to welcome all our members and supporters along, albeit with social distancing outside the picket fence. Earl, you'll be tuning in, hopefully via a Zoom again. Any last message for our members and supporters ahead of round 2?
Just to our supporters and our sponsors, again, we thank you for everything, for getting behind us this year. We look forward to seeing you out on Bon Andrews this week. You know, if anyone wants to jump on Zoom with me and watch the game, then I'll send you my meeting ID.
Bit of live commentary, you reckon? Very good. For our members and supporters, we will have plenty of merchandise on offer. The lower grade guys and even the top grade guys earlier in the day will be running a barbecue. So there's plenty happening at Bon Andrews. Obviously a great way to connect back with the community. We look forward to seeing everyone there. Sapa, you'll be out doing your thing on the field. Thanks for joining us today. The debut on the Shoremen on the sideline. How was it?
Yeah, pretty nervous, mate. Not very good at speaking in public.
Oh, you've done a terrific job. So thanks for joining us. That's all this week. We'll be back on next week to review Penrith and look forward to Manly in round 3. Thanks, guys.
Cheers, mate.
Thanks, JB.